Behind the Counter is sponsored by
GoDaddy.com. Sign up for a new account and get your domain name for only $2.49 by using promo code Queens at checkout.
All right, hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Behind the Counter, your one-stop shop for everything comic books and pop culture related. I'm your host, Rich Stamboli, and with me as always is the man who will run for New York Senate next year, Jonathan Adler.
I'm not a crook.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Texting too much Chris Jericho over here. How's he doing, by the way?
He's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. He says hi.
Still Canadian?
Still Canadian.
We're still talking about you, bro.
He's much more elastic now, too, in his DDP yoga.
So what's going on, man?
Not much.
Yeah?
Not much.
I like your shirt. What's the shirt say?
Our blades are sharp.
Is that a Game of Thrones shirt?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. It looked comfortable.
It's very, very nice.
Yeah?
It's a hair shirt.
What kind of hair?
Mohair.
Human hair. You got a mohair shirt?
Mohair
Do you have a
shirt.
mohair notepad too?
I do. Mohair. Mo skin and mohair.
You gonna hang out at the coffee shop and read the latest David Sedaris book?
I would love to.
Am I thinking of the right guy?
Who do you think David Sedaris is? I know who David Sedaris is. Do you know who David Sedaris is?
There's two guys that have a very similar name that I'm very confused with. The dude who is openly gay and talks about his family and writes books about it.
David Sedaris.
And the guy who is like, say yes to the dress.
It's also David Sedaris.
No, it's David Sutera.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
So it's kind of like
I don't have a burgeoning bride, so I don't have the crushing weight of say yes to the dress episodes in my home.
Neither do I. I have a Burgess Meredith bride. She's not burgeoning. I think she's watching now too.
Oh, hi.
Is good. Hello. So she just corrected me.
Who is it?
It's David Sutera. Yes, say yes to the dress, and
David Sedaris is I would love to, if you have the new David Sedaris on you, I will gladly take it.
No, it's My Fair Wedding. But you want David Sedaris, which is I think like it's called like If Octopuses Could Fly or some crap like that.
Yeah, sure. Me talk pretty sometimes, and
I shouldn't say crap.
Squirrel meets chipmunk.
He's very popular.
He's very popular.
Very popular with
very
the young
good.
crowd. So tell me what it is, John.
Not a whole lot. It's a really incredibly slow week for news.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured we should talk about Breaking Bad.
Very not you figured we should talk about Breaking Bad, but we always talk about Breaking Bad.
I want to back up I'm citing my reasons.
All right.
Awful episode.
Breaking Bad was ridiculous. Number one, it was a ridiculous show. Hank dying, didn't see it coming. Spoiler alert, everybody. Gomi, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that. There was no way that Hank could walk away from that.
Yeah.
There's no way he would survive two major gun battles.
Mm-hmm.
The way they handled it was fantastic.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to kidnap and torture him until
It happened to Jesse.
Right, it
which
happened to
I
Jesse.
predicted since the first episode of the fifth season. I said that he's going to end up coming back to rescue Jesse from something.
Do you think he's going to do it?
Yeah, I think he's going to go down rescuing Jesse, the last family member he's got after he loses everything.
Do you think
know,
that's what
man.
he's trying to do?
Yes.
Interesting.
Why else would you need at this point in terms of characters that are left? What would he be doing with a 50 cal machine gun?
I mean, they've had Jesse for a long time at that point.
Yeah.
Like over a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
It's like Theon.
horrible.
It's like Theon and Ramsey.
Yeah.
It's really. I love the visual of it, of the him on the track and everything, and then at the end of the track is the picture of Brock and his girl.
That guy, the guy who looks like a bizarro Matt Damon, really skews me out. Yeah,
Todd's amazing, man.
He's such a creepo character, especially in the gunfight where he's kind of shooting the gun all weird.
Yeah.
Great acting all around.
I used to watch him on Friday Night Lights, and he's very good. He can be very, very likable.
Mm-hmm.
He is totally Matt Damon. He definitely went to Matt Damon's school of facial expressions and overall.
Where's
and
Lydia?
faces.
Where's Lydia?
I'm sure she's well. After this episode, I mean, so much happened.
There's two left.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with it, I want to just talk about the weight of this episode because it's it did everything friggin' right and crammed so much into this. I mean, the guy lost everything. The gun battle's fantastic.
His money.
His money,
Yeah.
his family. The family thing was like, on top of all the crap, you see Jesse get in prison. You see like, all these people die. And then like the whole like uncomfortable, very realistic, like
Knife fight
was really like uncomfortable. I felt so bad for Walt Jr. And then like the weight of Marie going through like trying to be the badass, like, oh, this is what you gotta do with your kid.
Right.
Now you're a bitch and I'm gonna take care of you.
I really like the whole dynamic of him, like, my husband is with yours right now. He arrested him. You're not going to see him for a long time. And then he shows up at home and he's
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
yeah, so we don't ask questions.
Get in the car.
Flynn,
Get
let's
in and
go.
go.
Keep it moving.
Just shut up and let's go.
But nobody knows that Hank is. What was
Yeah,
actually?
they do.
Well, who did?
They know he's
The
dead.
cops didn't. I mean, nobody. It wasn't like reported. Like it wasn't like cops knew where he was, what he was doing.
Until Flynn opened his Flynn mouth. See, I think the reason why you kind of root for Walt a little bit.
Yeah, you're still rooting for Walt.
Is that in a weird way? You know why? Because his family has always taken a dump on him, and
They're very ungrateful.
right.
I've said that the entire show.
And the whole thing with like, like your mom, like he gets stabbed, and then immediately Flynn's like, I gotta call the cops on my dad and tell them he may have killed somebody and he attacked my mom.
I think that's a rational way of approaching situations.
If that, like, a rational way, absolutely isn't. But if that was your dad, what would you do? You wouldn't call the cops on your dad.
You don't know my father.
But like, if my father
I
was
think I
selling,
would- I
but
think
like
it-
your father's selling meth because he got cancer and he has no money and the family's falling apart, what would you do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's one of those situations where, it's also it's a son to his mom. Like if it came down to it, and your father is bloody with a knife in his hand, and your mom is on the floor, I think you probably would make the choice of like, we would probably beat the shit out of our dad.
Right.
Number one, we'd probably end up stabbing our father to death.
But the mother attacked him.
Yeah, but I think she had a moment of clarity. Like I've been on Walt's side for this entire side.
I hate Skylar and I hate
Skylar, they've made much more reasonable. Have you ever read Have you read any of these articles about why you hate Skylar? You should.
Oh yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't. Why?
they're really because like there's no reason why you should really hate Skylar.
She's ungrateful.
It's not ungrateful. I don't think she's
She is.
ungrateful. I don't think so. I think it's everyone loves the idea of the money, but like if you do a checklist of everything this dude has done,
He's a bad guy.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Like it's real, and I do think the Brock thing is the least of his bad things that he's done.
Yeah.
Like
Watching the girlfriend just
the girlfriend,
die.
like that's like unforgivable. Like the
killing Mike.
grabbing Holly was pretty bad.
Why did he grab Holly?
Because the last thing that he can control. It was the last thing that he.
I also think
The last bit of his family.
But they did show that he's a good person with that phone call he made.
Yeah.
With the threats. I mean, I was talking to someone that doesn't understand stuff like this. It wasn't Coco.
Well, the whole
And
thing.
they were upset. They're like he was such an asshole to her on the phone. Like he did it so because he knew the cops were there.
Well, the beautiful thing about that scene, I think it worked. There's a great article in New York Magazine about just that scene of him calling up Skylar and saying
I'm a bad guy.
like he basically exonerating her from the crimes. What's great about it is that it works to exonerate her, and but to a layman it can really come across as straight up like him yelling at it.
Right.
I think it's almost like because you look at Walter White and you look at Heisenberg as the two different personalities for him at this point.
Right.
And with Hank's death, Walter White pretty much went inside. It's like a whole Bruce Banner type of thing.
Right.
You can relate to comic books now. But I think that call was basically Walter White using Heisenberg to dictate to Sky what happened. But I think there's a lot of truth in what he's saying.
Right.
Also, I think he was pissed off that he disobeyed her and he didn't team up with her throughout this thing. But I also realized that he realized like there's no way out of this point.
Well,
There's no way,
like there's a weird thing that goes along with that is that I think Heisenberg is the smartest guy in the room, not Walter White. Walter White's a dope.
I can't lie, is Walter White.
Right, but as Heisenberg, he's like the badass,
Oh yeah.
I also thought he was going to throw the baby off the mountain.
I definitely didn't
He
think
just kills the baby.
Like, just like
the last unforgivable thing.
right, and then but like leaving it in the I really wanted the firefighter to say, "Hey, one of you guys order a baby." That would have made it for me.
The kid's so cute too.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
kid is really cute.
Kid's a good actor.
Yeah.
So it was actually done really well. Like the last two episodes were so perfect.
Yeah.
Now we're going to see the story of him getting a new identity.
Well, yeah. So the next episode has to be more Jesse stuff, whatever's going on with
A
Lydia.
lot of Jesse stuff.
Yeah, whatever going on with Lydia, we're gonna see. Well, I hope for whatever reason, my curiosity is getting the better of me. I really want to see who the Hoover repairman guy is that drives away these people to get new identities, but I don't think they'll ever show him. But I want to. You also have to bridge the gap between that year. You have to
Huel.
What?
Huel.
I want to see Huel.
Oh hell no.
And then also like what the fallout of all this is, because like now Saul can't communicate with
Either
Walter
one.
anymore.
Either
So,
one.
so it's probably gonna be him trying to deal with Sky and say, is there any more money? Is there?
Where's the money?
Yeah.
Well, all the money's gone. I think he's up with $11 million.
$11 million. I
Yeah.
mean, that's still a good chunk of change.
But Skylar has nothing.
Nothing.
I can't believe the white
Unless-
supremacists-
Well,
they're gonna lose the house.
Yeah.
The house is over in the future.
Well, Nazis got it.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they left. I don't see them losing the house. I just see them picking up and leaving, and that to me means
but
she has a lot of money saved.
I don't know about. No, she
No,
hasn't.
I think
No,
I
she-
you don't
think they're
think
getting,
so?
I
Absolutely
think
not.
I think her and Flynn are getting put in a witness relocation. That's why it's like the abrupt move, and the house is abandoned.
exactly because I think that they're.
They're people that she knows a lot.
Well, I think also that the Aryans are going to be watching over the house and the whole
Right.
nine, and I think there's going to be a lot of they're not going to want to stick around. I mean, like the relationship with her sister's broken. Like, what is there for them? And
Yeah.
Albuquerque anymore.
It-
Brothers-in-law's
it's-
dead.
I love that everything is falling apart. You know,
Yeah.
like nobody, like everybody's damaged from this. Like when I started watching the show, I was like, oh, what they'll probably do is like the family will take off with him and it'll be like this happy sunset, but there's no way there's a happy ending.
Flynn's freak out was pretty good.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would take over the empire.
Get out of here. Come on.
Yeah.
The best is
Make
that
me breakfast.
I think what's amazing about the show is that Walter White has gotten away with so much.
Right.
Like he's really done an incredible job as being, a criminal mastermind. But the karma has came back. And that's what Vince Gilligan said when he created the show. Is like, I don't want Walter White to walk away with like getting away with this,
Right,
dirt, like dirty money is really bad. And what happens to this guy is pretty like he absolutely devastated his life. He came to do the job of taking care of his family, and has gotten so far away from that original mission.
Right.
And is just working almost like an injured animal.
That's
power
why
trip.
that's what, like, I like Walter, but like when you look at it in hindsight and be like, he had so many outs.
Yeah.
And he
Right.
could have been like, this is it. I made my money. But like now it's not even like he likes this life.
But that's
Right.
why I think that's what this show does more than any other shows. It's so not black and white.
Yeah.
And it's made him such a human character because that is the way that he's been, like aside from like the over the topness and everything, is very much a way a human dealing with greed would work. He would probably screw over his family and do the next thing and this thing. It's a very he's one of the most fleshed out, fleshable characters I've ever seen on television.
Absolutely.
All
I
the
agree with
characters,
you.
Jesse included.
Yeah. Even Flynn.
I hope Badger doesn't die because he's on Talking Bad afterwards.
Who's
this week.
Badger?
Badger's getting killed. man.
Badger's and Skinny Pete.
Oh, Badger and Skinny.
Badger's stumbling into the crack den and getting his head blown off by the white
I
supremacists.
hope not.
Hey guys.
So you think it's going to end with him trying to rescue Jesse,
Yeah, I think he's gonna die in hail bullets.
and Jesse's going to live?
No, I think he's gonna take the ricin.
I think no. I think
Yeah.
the license for Lydia.
Yeah.
I think that's for the T.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's
Or
good-
he
good
gives
one.
it to Jesse because he knows Jesse, like he's dying.
Nah, Jesse's gonna walk.
You know what?
They're gonna give Jesse's gonna be the one thing that gets.
How about this? This finish.
Oh, here we go.
Here's a dusty finish for all of you.
Does he get punched by Walter?
He gets punched by Walter. No, Walter goes to save him. Walter fails. He almost gets him out. He fails, and the last thing he does is give Jesse to Ryson
No,
I don't want that
because that's his way out.
But
No.
you need to. I feel like the last scene.
He's gonna walk away with all the money.
The last scene you're gonna see is Jesse slinging dope on the corner again.
No,
Yeah.
I
Like all this for nothing.
I think
Right.
the one thing will be this is eventually gonna be a story about his new family with Jesse and him dying to give Jesse a new life.
Okay.
And because you have everything in the same area. You have the Aryans, you have Jesse, and you have the money all in one immediate area.
I think Jesse's gonna kill Walter.
No,
Why would he
it's a
try?
redemption-
Why
it's a
would
redemption story.
Walter want to kill Lydia?
Why not?
But why?
Put the
would-
Aryans into the picture.
To what?
They helped to bring the Aryans into the picture, and and I think something's gonna happen with the Easter the
Eastern
Czechs.
European. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't seen from them.
I don't think it's gonna be a big thing, but I think there's gonna be something that is gonna make him want to kill Lydia.
Yeah.
I really think the license for her.
I mean, there's a lot to fill in the next two.
Not
Is it going to
really.
be a 1 hour show to final, or is it going to be extended?
both episodes are gonna be an hour 15.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
good.
15 minutes really makes a difference.
Oh, it does. Well,
Yeah.
you're taking
Yeah,
away
no,
the
it does.
commercials.
It does once you get to because I watch it live. I'm
Yeah.
sure you watch
Oh,
it
yeah,
live. It's 9 o'clock. It's on, right?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. I think at 9:30 you start to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're like
Not a
there's
lot
only
has happened.
There's only a half an hour left. Like
That episode went by like it was nothing.
yeah,
It was good.
And it was really phenomenal. I could say the opposite about Sons of Anarchy, which was an hour and a half. It's been 2 episodes, been an hour and a half
They
long.
always do this.
And
I liked it.
I thought it was stupid. I thought this episode was completely stupid.
The kid?
Is it Dave
Yeah.
Navarro?
Because Dave
That's
Navarro and like it was like the one after the kid.
No, the one after. I haven't seen it yet.
You're not messing with. I don't like how both episodes end with Jax banging a chick.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing the back tattoo.
Who's he banging now?
He's like his wife.
Oh, the wife.
He's the first thing should be banging.
He's like the Randy Orton of Sons of Anarchy.
He is.
Like slithery and
He's
like
just-
all weird.
I've grown to appreciate him more because I guess I'm seeing him in more roles outside of Sons of Anarchy.
Batman. He would have been a great Batman.
He's all right. I don't believe it.
We never talked about the Ben Affleck thing on the show at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I know we both hate it.
I know. We both hate it
Wait, why?
because he's not a good Batman.
No, but same thing was said about Heath Ledger.
No, it's not the
Same
same.
thing, same
Heath
thing.
No. I was really happy with Heath Ledger as a Joker.
Me too.
Because I knew the guy was a tremendous actor. I do not feel the same way about Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck is a tremendous talent in terms of directing. I think he made an awesome movie, even though Argo wasn't that great. I think it's way.
It wasn't, right?
I think it's really.
Jersey Girl.
I think
It's
it's
very
really
overrated.
blown out of
Yeah.
proportion.
Jersey Girl.
But he's done some cool stuff, and I like, I love Gone Baby Gone and The Town and stuff like that. Like I love like Boston crime stuff, but like this dude, like Batman should be done right, and we can't use like, oh, George Clooney was Batman, Val Kilmer was Batman, Michael Keaton was Batman. It's a different time. We demand a near perfect Batman at this point, and we're never gonna get Christian Bale again.
Right.
But we should get someone that has that weight, especially if they're going with an
But
older.
they also said that about Christian Bale.
No one said that about Christian
A
Bale.
lot of people
Idiots
did.
said that about Christian
A
Bale.
lot of people did.
Hollywood said that about Christian Bale. That's the
You
problem.
know why? Do you know why they said it about
Because
Christian
they're
Bale?
stupid.
The same reason why they got Ben Affleck. They liked the strong Batman chin.
He doesn't
No.
have
That's
a
the
strong
only
Batman
reason.
chin.
That's the
No.
only reason. He looks like Bruce Wayne.
No, he doesn't. He does not look like Bruce Wayne at all.
Out of everybody who played Batman, Christian Bale arguably has the best acting chops.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
he's a way better actor than Ben
But
Affleck,
who
in my
looked like
opinion.
Batman?
Christian
who looked
Bale.
like
Christian Bale.
No. You think Christian Bale?
George Clooney was the one that really looks like the epitome of like young. Well, not even young. Like the Batman that we get modern day Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he is like the epitome of what I expect out of him.
Bruce
Yeah,
Wayne.
the charming, the $1 million guy. Ben Affleck, he's not a good enough actor.
But do we know what Batman we're getting?
We're getting an older, grim and gritty, and tired Batman. Those are things that I do not associate with Ben Affleck. There's a guy who's doing pull-ups in a movie, in the last whatever thing he
Right.
did.
Who would you like to see?
Josh Brolin. If they're going
I would
old,
have
because he was
liked,
in the running.
I think he would have been very interesting. I really liked what's that dude? He was in The Hobbit. He played the Thorn Oak Shield.
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen.
That guy was good. Yeah, no, I know. I forgot the actor's name.
Because I saw some promo picture of the dude, and he could pull off the dark and brooding, a little
Right.
bit older, the whole thing. I think the Ben Affleck thing is kind of like a weird knee-jerk reaction. But I know the reason why he's doing it, because this guy really wants to direct the Justice League movie.
Right.
And this is part of the deal, is that he's going to do the JLA movie.
Right. It's a really weird thing, and I feel like, and like we didn't talk about this, happened like I think like about a month ago, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
The insane thing to me is that this it immediately destroyed the internet. It immediately made every fanboy just like freak out and have an anxiety attack about this whole situation. And like when you get older, and as a fan, there's that little corner of your mind that you kind of stuff all the crap into, where you're like, listen, there's nothing I can do about this. I have zero control in Hollywood. I can bitch and moan to everybody, or I could just kind of keep it to myself and see what happens. And I think that's at the state where like me and you were at, and like a bunch of other fans there. It broke the internet for a day.
Yeah.
But my major gripe is that you had this guy play. I feel like it's not so much that it's Ben Affleck. I feel like you already had this guy play a masked Night Avenger, and it was terrible. And you're gonna have the guy play the same, like not the same character, but a same
Very
style.
similar.
Very
But was it
similar
his
kind of
fault or was
thing.
it the writing?
It was his
a little bit
fault.
of everything.
It was a little everything.
By the
Like,
way, Josh Brolin and him are 4 years apart.
Yeah, but
Wow.
Josh Brolin has an entirely different way of approaching acting and his face.
I can see Josh Brolin as Batman.
His face. He looks like Josh Brolin looks like a Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns
Yeah.
Batman.
I would even because I think at this point, because of how much we hold the Batman franchise in high regard, we've always has. But I think that we've gotten a little bit more serious about it. I think they should treat it like how they treat James Bond. Like it should be this like marquee
Franchise guy.
big deal, a guy who can carry a franchise. Affleck cannot carry a franchise.
Right.
I mean, and I don't hate Affleck. I just know his limitations.
Right.
And one of his major limitations is that he cannot really command the performance that a Batman would. Can you picture like it's a Superman versus Batman thing? What's his name? Superman.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill is a fantastic Superman who is a physical presence on top of anything, and he's really good at it. He's not too over the top with it and everything. I like it.
Yeah.
I can't see them locking up face to face and doing like, I can't see Ben Affleck being this threatening Batman to Superman.
See the other thing about this is like
doesn't work.
You kind of like it makes your brain hurt a little bit, much like the 5-year thing in DC and DC.
Yeah.
Get in there with the references today. It makes your brain hurt a little bit because it's all like how, why. You never know. This guy might be like, you know what? I saw Ben Affleck as Batman and it was incredible.
If it's a surprise, fantastic.
The thing I like what you said about the whole James Bond franchise, especially because our current Batman franchise from Keaton on was, let's say, Roger Moore to Daniel Craig, right?
Yeah.
And your last 3 Daniel Craig movies are so far beyond what Pierce Brosnan did.
Absolutely.
And he's the Christian Bale of the Bond thing. Whereas we had
I wouldn't mind seeing him either.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Chris Nolan making 3 insane Batman movies. I still like the third one no matter what Bobby says.
Screw him.
It's going to be the Eternal. I told him that the 3 of us should watch it and tape it and just, sell the DVD.
Yeah. You should.
But it's so far beyond that, and like it almost, as a fan, it almost seems like you're taking a step backwards into like the Schumacher stunt casting. Like we're getting Kilmer, we're getting Clooney, we're getting Affleck, booyah.
Yeah.
Again, Charlie Hunnam would have been a great.
I don't know about that.
Batman. If
But
they
again,
were
this
going,
isn't the
like,
Batman franchise. We're also going to get another Batman.
Yeah.
right.
So
We're getting a Batman franchise out of this.
out of Affleck?
Yeah.
I think he's the one. I honestly think he's a one and done, and then
he's
gonna,
signed on.
to be
I thought he's on for the JLA
like
stuff.
7-picture deal.
He signed up for a multi-picture deal as Batman.
Yeah, but that also means that it could be the JLA stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, we still don't you think if this movie is going to draw this much attention, they're not going to do a solo Batman?
I don't know.
In between now and JLA,
I feel
trust me. Warner Brothers is a money vampire. They would absolutely milk this out about they can.
I think a smart way to do it. Again, I'm not in charge of Hollywood. I wouldn't. I'd
Well,
still
Are
be
you
here.
sure?
I'd still be here.
I am. My people
This
is.
guy is.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
The the thing that would be awesome for a fan, which would kind of take the sting away from like these guys are going to make 7 movies, would be if you did the Superman Batman movie and then every movie after that was Brave and the Bold, Batman Green Arrow, Batman Green Lantern, introducing these characters.
Yeah, but they'd never do that.
I know they would.
They would never
that.
do that. They're not smart enough to do something like that.
And then do the Justice League movie.
Well, look at it this way. I think what your idea is fantastic, and that would be really good. And that's what
Right.
I think a lot of DC fans are drawn to, is that the cool team ups and like the nuances of like cool DC stuff. But they're like the problem with DC in terms of their movies is they're still trying to figure out the formula. Like
Right.
Marvel, like thank God they were able to like find their pacing with like the Iron Man stuff and the second generation of Marvel
Avengers.
movies.
And
Yeah, and then like at this point with Josh Whedon behind the helm, and we've introduced the Avengers, we now have a universe for the first time.
Yeah.
Now they can start getting to like the nitty gritty and the cool stuff, like having an Ultron movie.
Well, Marvel did what nobody thought they could do. They built a universe in the movie theater,
Right.
And plus, and like what's insane to me also is that you still within your time frame of Avengers and Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, like all these movies that are freaking awesome that we love that will probably hold up for the next few years. You still get a piece of crap like Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah, well,
which is really insane.
Yeah. I think we get a crappy X-Men movie also.
The Days of Future Past.
I think it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you see Wolverine yet?
Not yet.
Weird.
Right.
Didn't see it either.
I know. Every time I talk about that with Bobby, he gets weird out that I haven't seen Wolverine yet.
Yeah.
Did you saw the thing I posted with the costume that they were supposed to use?
No.
They had in the movie they were supposed to have him
in the Wolverine movie.
In the Wolverine movie, they're supposed to have him like open a attaché and have like
the brown costume,
the yellow costume.
All right,
and it looked awesome. It's on our Facebook page.
Okay.
But the gloves and the mask and everything with a little bit shorter ears, and it looked awesome.
And
they didn't use it.
Really? That's not in the movie.
Not in the movie.
That would have been really cool. They're gonna save it for Days Future Past.
Who knows? But the thing is also about like what we talking about the universe and everything and how they create this universe. DC's not even close to getting there yet. It just made a Superman movie that has a penis on it, as opposed to like, like actually people do want to see, regardless of the controversy that people had about it. It's still warranted enough attention for us to get a Superman Batman movie.
Right.
This is the first time this has ever worked.
Yeah.
So I can't, and we've gotten Green Lantern, and that was terrible.
Oh, that's true. I think we're getting a sequel to that too, right?
They're trying to do something.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to reboot it again. Like they don't know what's up, and they're immediately thinking about JLA. They have such a long way before they can make a workable JLA movie, which I think is going to be terrible.
If they're going the route of Marvel, which they should, and having Superman as Iron Man 1, essentially, then you can build the franchise on that. I just feel like they're going to rush it. And, by the time we get a JLA movie, it's going to be 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they also have to see what the result of Superman Batman is. Right. I mean, because that really is, we don't have a Christopher Nolan Batman anymore.
Right.
So they need something that's comparable. They think it's going to be a Superman movie. I don't think it is. They're hoping it's going to be this is going to be the springboard for a Batman series, but I don't think it's going to. I think there's another misstep in their long and storied career of screwing up their franchises.
What I would like to see is, if again, like I'm not in charge of Hollywood.
You're welcome.
But I'm in charge of this microphone right here, and this is what I got to say. Another in the interim loose trilogy, another Superman movie, standalone Batman movie that lead into Superman Batman.
Yeah.
That kind of have, because in a Superman Batman movie, it's going to kill it? Exposition. Too much exposition.
Oh, I know.
The reason why Avengers worked is because you had 5 movies. You had 4 movies that supported. No, I'm sorry. You did have 5 movies because I'm counting the Hulk. The Hulk was part of it. That supported the exposition of one movie.
Yep.
With a Superman Batman thing, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get another origin of Batman story. You're going to get another origin of Superman.
So do you think they're going to reboot the entire Batman franchise?
Absolutely.
Following this?
Yeah.
And they're going to start totally over?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And also, like,
the Nolan universe is over. They can't touch that.
How do you think Ben Affleck's going to do the voice, or if he's going to do a voice at all?
I think they've already said they got on record that they're not doing the growl. I think they're probably going to do more along the lines of like the Nolan North, noble protective voice.
Can he be like a Boston Batman?
Hey,
like Goodwill Hunting Batman?
I'd rather have.
Hey, you guys smart, huh?
I'd rather have Casey Affleck as my Batman than have that.
But to me, as someone that doesn't read the comics like you guys, I still follow it. I have, to me, like the Nolan universe was so perfect. I mean, in every sense, like they told such a good story.
Absolutely.
That I think, regardless of Ben Affleck being a good Batman or not, let's say he's phenomenal in the next one, right? Let's go with that. The second they reboot the franchise with him in that key role, you're gonna have to have a Joker.
Yeah, of course.
Right? The second you do that, he's gonna fail.
I don't know about that.
Because you're taking
what's your rationale?
That is the best Batman ever made.
You're wrong.
And the second you do that, I don't think he's going to be able to live up, and whoever plays the Joker will not be able to live up to it.
I don't think I agree with part of what you're saying. I agree with you that they're not going to do good movies with this Batman. But they said the same thing about Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was the end all, the be all when it came to the Joker.
Yeah.
Before that, Cesar Romero
but 20
was
years,
really.
But 20 years had gone by from Joker to Joker.
But guess what? We're closing on like 10 years now with Heath Ledger.
2008?
It's been a long time. We're getting by the time that we're gonna get to that point where we need a Joker in a Batman movie. I'm sure they can do a great job. Probably gonna get a great black Joker or something like that.
A black Joker.
James
Harley
Smooth.
Quinn. Harley Quinn? We never saw Harley Quinn.
Good. I don't think it worked.
You don't think so?
No. She is a character that really, in my opinion, should have never really left the cartoons.
If you were in charge, what would your pitch be for a fresh Superman Batman movie?
No origins whatsoever.
Okay.
I would do something similar to what they're doing with Greg Pak now, and do like a Superman Batman of all eras type of thing.
Okay.
Do something focusing on young Batman, young Superman, modern day Superman Batman, then do like a Dark Knight Returns thing, and that's it. Never do.
But
Superman
what's the
Batman
storyline
again.
though? But what's the storyline between them?
It doesn't matter because the Superman stuff is always going to drag down a Superman Batman story.
Absolutely, because nobody's interested in Superman.
Well, no, the people are interested in it, but the thing is like what are you going to do? You're going to do Superman. You can do Lex Luthor, Joker, right?
Right.
That's probably what's going to happen in this new Superman Batman. In terms of story, I don't know. I'm the type of person who doesn't get excited about Superman Batman crossovers. It's the relationship still bugs me in some ways. I accept it.
How are they linked?
They're best friends.
Yeah, they're buds.
But
Metropolis and Gotham are supposed to be both supposed to be New York.
New York or Jersey.
Yeah, but like the way
Batman lives like in Connecticut, right?
Jersey.
Like it's supposed to. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole.
Okay.
Like the way. Let's say Wayne Manor is in Westchester or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in like White Plains or something, and like obviously Manhattan is Gotham, as evident by the third Batman movie, who's standing on top of the Queensboro Bridge,
Yeah.
and staring at the statue, and staring at the.
But
Empire State
Metropolis to
Building.
me has always been like Detroit.
Really?
I don't know why.
It's Chicago.
Chicago,
for me.
Detroit, like a Midwestern.
It depends on who's.
Yeah.
It depends on who's focusing on Metropolis, because Metropolis
Yeah.
can be either New York or like a golden age Chicago.
I would
yeah.
do like a San Diego too. You
Yeah,
know?
it's
Yeah.
like it's the ideal. It's day and night. It's Metropolis
Right.
is the sun, and then
Yeah.
Gotham is the moon.
There's strong arguments for both because like it's a major metropolitan newspaper. But, you think Daily News, Daily Planet, blah blah blah. Anyway, so
New York Post.
they actually kind of they're throwing in stuff in the comics now, and I think they did that. I don't know if they did it on Smallville, but they're placing young Bruce Wayne in Smallville at a certain time.
Yeah.
And they place
They want to do it. They never really did it though.
right. And well, they did that with
All the other characters.
in the New 52.
Yes.
They actually wrote it's in modern continuity now that they met when they were kids, and Bruce Wayne taught Clark some wrestling moves, and they got into like a scuffle, and they were both lonely orphans or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's still in modern continuity where you also had Lex Luthor going to Clark's high school, for some reason, right? Is that still canon?
I think so.
But I think Clark's high school or Bruce's high
Clark's.
school? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's all. That's all well and good. But
like Bruce, but Superman is like a country boy.
doesn't matter. He still came to the big city to become a reporter. They still have. They do.
So then, how did they know each other as a kid? Yeah.
Being it doesn't matter. I mean,
Comic books, man.
What they just did.
I know. It's like wrestling. I'm trying to make sense.
What they
out of
just
it,
did
but-
in Superman Batman, like what you're talking about, is like
Right.
the car accident and like these two guys relating to each other as orphans, and Alfred wanting Bruce to get out more and like hang out with this kid.
Right.
It makes sense. Like that makes sense. But like I don't. When they get older and they're in their Batman Superman persona, I know Superman inherently loves Batman. That's
Right.
no doubt. And I think Batman does look at him as like a brother, but I think he looks at him as an unequal. And I think that he's always thinking of ways to kill him.
Right.
So like I don't feel Batman can have a normal friendship relationship with this guy.
Right. No, I agree.
But he's
completely.
indestructible. You can't kill him.
Yeah, you can.
Hey, kryptonite and magic.
Oh, okay, well,
And mind control.
Three things.
where is he going to find the kryptonite? Where's Batman going to find the kryptonite?
Are you really asking where Batman's going to have kryptonite in a story about Superman?
Yes.
Kryptonite is everywhere in a Superman
Right.
storyline.
Like if you're going by the Man of Steel movie,
What are you going by the Nolan universe?
Yes.
It's not happening.
he'll find the kryptonite. But I feel like like the movie, it's you can tell an easy story. You can have the movie begin with Batman and the cool stuff get out of the way first. He hunts down drug dealers or whatever. He sees a LexCorp thing. Investigates, ends up in Metropolis as Bruce, sees some Superman stuff. They meet as Bruce and as Superman, and then it goes from the and that night he's like, "I need your help with something."
Or you could just do the Batman with the kryptonite stuff. You could also just do that. The guy investigated the remnants of the ship back in the day, and he found some kryptonite or whatever. he synthetically manufactured. Who cares?
I got a question for you now. What if this whole thing is kind of like a script flipper and ends up becoming a Dark Knight Returns movie?
I mean, that'd
be great.
That's the thing that I feel like it should be.
Mm.
And since they're especially talking about like an old and wary, Batman, I think that would be the only way of really making this thing work.
Because he does fight Superman in
I know.
chunk of it.
I think they're going to be whatever their last battle is. I think it's going to be very close
Mhm.
to the way that they ended Dark Knight Returns.
Okay. No high fives?
No high five.
The last of the Nolan series, do you feel that they told a good story with a beat up Batman?
Yes, we've been talking
Like-
so much about Dark Knight Returns.
I know.
Dark Knight Rises. No, not just with you. I'm saying like outside. We've been defending Dark Knight Rises.
No,
for
but
months.
but because you're going into like this older, hurt Batman. That's what they're gonna tell, because that's been the series of Batman. He gets old and he's beat up
Right.
and he puts on the suit. He's nothing like he used to be. Do you think they're gonna be able to transition? Because I thought with the Nolan one there were a lot of inconsistencies when watching it, because this guy was like destroyed and he had that special suit, but he was still Batman.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to transition into this new one like that, or are they going to really tell a story that like this guy could barely walk?
I don't think they're going to do the thing where he's going to be
Like
no
crippled.
one wants to see a crippled Batman.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. I think
Unless it's the Kingdom Come Batman.
something like. But I don't think like the introducing a new Batman to only introduce him as like a crippled Batman is kind of a waste of a movie.
Right.
I think they're going to have him more as like not so much old, but have like world weary, where he's just more bitter and alone, and this is going to be about him opening up the gates of love to Superman.
When he realizes that it's
You can't
really
do it
a
alone.
never-ending war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna have him, recruiting a Robin or something like that.
Mhm.
Who tells a better crossover story, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
That's a good segue for what we're going to talk about next, actually.
Marvel,
Because we're Marvel is in the middle of this. It's not even a company-wide crossover. But all your core characters are in it. Like all the Avengers are in it. Infinity, which started like almost a year ago, I would say, where like Hickman was planning it after the power shift from Bendis off the Avengers books. Hickman taking over and then laying out this gigantic universe thing.
Yeah,
And it coming to like a culminate. I'm really enjoying it.
absolutely. I mean, this is a very, because the Bendis was the toe in the water for all of the Avengers universe for so long. Yeah, he was the spoon that stirred the pot.
Mhm.
This was like he controlled it so much, and you had whatever page across your head, whether it be Secret Avengers, Secret Invasion,
Right.
These three freaking things. You take something like that where you always had the main crossover book, and then you had the New Avengers and Avengers,
Right.
leading into like as basically the chapter 2 and chapter 3 of every issue that came out,
Mhm.
doing the same similar thing with this. But yes, he took a year to really establish it. And Avengers is about building a massive Avengers team that is not just international, but is
Universal.
galactic.
Right.
And then you had in the New Avengers, which is basically an Illuminati book, the introducing the concept of the Builders, which are these universe-creating insect-like aliens who are millions of years older than us, introducing a new lore to the Marvel universe.
Right.
And these incursions where these alternate realities are breaking into our world, literally with a gigantic planet, and the Illuminati getting together and murdering that universe.
Right. So to answer your question, at this point, Marvel tells a better crossover story than DC.
Worrying about kryptonite.
I mean, for me, I always had the issue like there was Marvel and there was like the X-Men universe that for a while for me, like reading in the 80s and 90s, like it was kind of separate.
It was separate
Until for a long
recently.
time. Yeah, it was always kept separate. So like these crossovers that you would see every now and then, like Spider-Man and Wolverine, like it was hard to buy into it for me. I feel with DC, it's kind of the same universe. Everybody's in the same universe with DC, rather than Marvel was kind of separate.
But ease should not be the reason why crossover works. Because that's a personal preference when it comes to.
But I guess it doesn't matter if you never watched the comic. If you never read the comics, then it means nothing. Everybody's just
Right.
one.
I mean, I know it is. It's also when it comes to a crossover, it's not like the olden days where you had a main character, supporting cast, and that was it. A crossover is every single issue. I mean, integration and continuity are the reasons why comic books work so well together.
Right.
And that's why crossovers are good for drumming up money, but they're also a great way of not only saying that all these characters can mingle together and we have this large universe, but how fun it is. And it's usually the moments where you see those characters do, I don't know, different things than what it used to. Get him out of the norm.
I mean, that's your setup for, let's see if, like, business-wise, like, who can we make a book out of? Because remember, after, I think, Secret Invasion, you had, like, a Hawkeye Mockingbird miniseries.
Yeah.
Because she came back. And, you had, like, a ton of spin-offs from that. The interesting thing between the Marvel and DC dynamic is that a DC crossover will always be a DC crossover in the respect that it's, like, until Final Identity Crisis, where it's, we are black and white superheroes. We are the good guys. We will go and be good guys and vanquish this enemy. The Marvel crossovers always play into more psychology of what's going on and the interaction between people in the Marvel universe, especially with the X-Men books, because they're still off the table as far as like, you know what, you guys deal with Galactus. We got to deal with everybody being racist against us.
I mean, but that's really the biggest villain of them all in the X-Men world, right?
I mean, now it's themselves.
To me, they screwed up the trilogy so bad by the last one.
Talking about the movies?
Yeah, the movies.
No, those don't count.
And no, I'm talking about like now with Days of Future Past coming up. They screwed that up bad. And then you have the Wolverine movies, which the first one obviously was awful. The second one I haven't seen, but I haven't heard amazing stuff about it. The new class was okay.
Oh, the first class was incredible.
First class, yeah. It was, but this next one kind of has to really be it.
Yeah, but it's not going to.
Well, Hugh Jackman said it's going to be the best one.
Movie. Who?
Hugh Jackman. He said it's probably
says
the
that about
best
every
one.
single movie he does. Oh,
I
it's the
guess
best.
so.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Screw Bryan Singer, man.
He's
Guy
Batman.
Sucks.
He's Wolverine.
He could be a good Batman too.
He could be a good Batman.
Let's talk about Infinity.
Gnarly, bro. That's my Hugh Jackman impression.
Gnarly.
I had a weird conversation with my fiance the other day about how 5 years after he makes his last appearance as Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's going to come out of the closet.
I think so. Yeah, I think he has to distance himself away from Wolverine.
Because that would break the internet. Not so much that he's... Who cares if the guy's gay? But I feel like there's a million fans who are just like, what? Not Wolverine.
I don't think it's that much of a surprise at this point.
But who
either.
else could play Wolverine other than him now?
Tons of people. I'm sure there's tons of guys that can be Wolverine.
Me and John are going to be Wolverine in the
CM Punk.
X-Men
Snake
movie.
Bug. I can see him as
He would be an awesome
By the way,
Wolverine.
Days of Future Past is coming out May 23rd, and Fantastic Four is coming out March 6th.
Not this year.
2014.
Oh.
2014.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah, no, 2014.
Those dates are not right.
Fantastic. Oh, 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2015 for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the X-Men movie, but it's
Not gonna be good.
It's going to be, you know.
The I don't know. At a point.
It breaks my heart that they're not good. Because I'm
cares?
such an X-Men fan.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, you would love what's going on now, which we're going to get to later. But let's talk to
Well, that's next week. We'll do that one.
You want to do X-Men next week?
Yeah, we'll
All
do
right.
we'll do Battle of the Atom next
How
week.
long do we have left, by the way, in minutes?
15 minutes.
Okay, we can do that.
All right.
I don't have to be out till a little bit later.
Okay. Infinity, it's blowing my mind because I really enjoy how Hickman
Stacked it.
stacked it, and he's not writing everybody like Bendis. I feel like when you come on a book after that long, it's probably a little hard to not like write in the style of your predecessor, but he writes everybody so perfectly
And uniquely.
uniquely and extremely comic booky, but in an extremely smart way, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, he does something that I was thinking about this today when I was getting ready for for this talk. Hickman's style of writing is so drastically different from Bendis because it's still dialogue driven, but it's also very, very strongly narrative driven.
Yeah.
And not relying on the dialogue to push it ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But he writes, especially Cap and like the Illuminati, very stoically. Everyone is like, there's a huge amount of pressure on them. They can handle it. They're legends. They're powerful figures, but he can still write like Cannonball and Sunspot being really funny and Spider-Man being weird and the whole nine.
I'm glad you brought up the Cap thing because that was Infinity 3 came out this week, and there was the whole space battle.
Well, let's give the background on what's happened, like how many steps we've gone through. So first we had the Builders invading the world, and we had this huge galactic council and
all the like Kree, the Skrulls, the Shi'ar, and the Brood. I think were part of it.
Yeah.
And the Spartax were
and
part of
Negative
it.
Zone, Annihilus was there. And then Spartax, Jason, Star's father, he's leading the whole thing. Got a total douchebag, sells him out.
Right.
The Builders wipe them out pretty much almost completely. 40 million people dead.
Right.
But what I love, and then after that, also while it's going on, Thanos is looking for his son, and using this badass team of people who have black names.
Right.
Now I mean like like Jerome. I mean like they have like Ebony Moore and like Midnight, Proximity Midnight.
Terrible.
They all have like it's the first one that came to my mind, right?
Have you ever met a person named Jerome in your entire life?
Yeah, two of them. It's a good name. And so they have them going after Thanos' son, and then on top of that, now you have the Illuminati storyline where we have this incursion happening, another reality is opening up. So you've had all these things, but the best thing about that Galactic Council stuff was in the first couple of issues, you've had like Captain America kind of in the sidelines, just like just listening and everything. And I'm like, yo, man, this is like Cap's forte. He's like leading a tremendous army. And this was great because we had that moment where pretty much everything's falling apart. And it's like, well, Cap, do you have any idea? He's just like, I got this.
Yeah, and Cap comes with the idea, and that's the part that I really enjoyed about that issue. That one part that really stuck out in me was like everybody's retreating. Like, what do we do? And he's like, "You keep fighting until you can't fight no more, bro." Yeah. And like did the whole Captain America. I like him with the helmet. The way Jeremy Apina draws him in Infinity is
Jerome.
Jerome. There you go. Phenomenal. And but I never met him.
I know.
I've never met a person. I've never met a dude named Jerome.
I don't think he's black either.
No, I think he's South American. But like everything, the way Hickman writes it and the way it's presented is a really excellent package. I also feel like it's a departure from the way Marvel used to do crossovers in that like you can't pick this up standalone. Like you could, but like it doesn't. You need the backstory of the Illuminati, which is set up by Bendis. You need the backstory of how why the Illuminati stayed on Earth. Because they kind of took themselves out of the cosmic equation, saying like, without telling anybody about the incursions.
You need a lot of Thanos background for this thing too, because he's mostly in the background for most of the storyline so far.
Right. Well, the whole reason why he's coming to Earth is it's a weird. They address the fact that it's a weird focal point for the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. B, there's no heroes left on Earth, so it's easy pickings. And C, the reveal that his son is on Earth, who was revealed to be taken. He bedded down an Inhuman, and the kid is half Thanos, half Inhuman, but he looks human.
But he's a human. But he's part of the lost tribe of Inhumans,
right? And he hasn't been exposed to Terrigenesis yet.
No.
So I think you're gonna get that in the story.
Yeah,
and
good guy Thanos.
I think he's gonna end up being Magnus, not Magnus.
They showed him, didn't they?
No, they did. Not Magnus. That was a bad guy. Adam Warlock.
Warlock?
He's going to be a good guy, Thanos. Warlock's going to show up, I feel like, at some point.
I hope so. But that's the thing. Is like when that's a big expectation breaker on terms of the book because it's it's Infinity. Right. It's named Infinity. It's got Thanos on the cover. Like, it's totally Infinity Gems. Yeah. There's no gems. There's one gem that's out there somewhere.
Right.
And there's just so much going on and. Like you're talking about how this Marvel was breaking the rules of how they do crossovers.
Right.
Every crossover has had pretty much the same setup. First issue is a massive invasion or attack of some kind. Then the second one is regrouping. And then by third issue, someone dies. And then it's a battle in the fifth issue. And then the fallout for the last issue.
Right.
So this one, you start out with a huge space battle. You have all this stuff going on in the background. You had one of the major characters beat up by Black Panther. And you have a lot of stuff moving around, and it's not just a Captain America story of rallying the troops.
Right.
Because obviously that's not, I think this is one of those instances where they say that's not going to be the way this works.
It's a very small part of it.
Yeah. But that's been the focal point of the beginning of it, and now like you keep on entering, not so much doing plot twists, but stacking more stuff onto the storyline without making it cumbersome and like crumble under its own weight.
Exactly. I think that's another reason why I like it is that there's so many elements in there, but he's utilizing every element. You're not like you had the Star brand come into play in this last issue.
Yes.
Where, through Cap's strategy to infiltrate the other ships and take over, like hack into the other ships and start blasting away like the creators or the builders or whatever. You had Star brand showing up and like doing his thing. And which is really cool. I feel like it's always so tenuous when you have your core characters off Earth because I feel like somebody's gonna get stranded.
Yeah,
which is always like a possibility.
Marvel.
And back on Earth you have Black Bolt and Adelon, the Inhuman City, is hovering above New York. So the insane part to me, like I told you before the show, was Maximus. Black Bolt's brother has been working on something for Black Bolt. which is such a weird relationship because Maximus is
I love it.
just straight up crazy, and he's supposed to be like the biggest danger to the Inhumans, but also could have been like their savior at some point. And Black Bolt loves him because he's still his brother. So Maximus built this thing, and you don't know what it is. Thanos shows up. Adelon gets evacuated, so it's Black Bolt on his throne. Thanos shows up and says, like, I know this, like, you didn't give me my tribute. I'm going to take it anyway. Where's my son? And the thing that Maximus built was an amplifier. I feel like it was an amplifier for Black Bolt's power. And Black Bolt, in yelling at Thanos, the last page is him destroying Adelon and a good chunk of New York City.
You think it's going to be a way to amplify his power? I don't think so.
No?
I'm almost
Or
positive.
you just think he just like
what?
Like yelled?
I think I think it's the beginning of a battle.
Okay.
I don't think it's doing anything. I think it's a bomb that's going to activate humans to become Inhumans.
Okay.
I think it's a way for them to break away from just the Inhumans getting the Terrigens. I think it's going to be pretty much because that's what the next book is about, Inhumanity. But I think that's also a way for him to shield the make it harder for him to find his son.
Okay.
But also, I think because he's talking about the tribute, like, oh, I need, like 38,000 or 38 million heads of your firstborn.
Between this age and this age.
I think that Black Bolt kind of thinks that he's going to win no matter what.
Right.
And that the losses would be less if he makes more Inhumans on Earth.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Which is a very, like, it's a very statistical way of looking at it, which is a way that I think they're making Black Bolt into this kind of like, mean king that's talking about his people and like just be black and white about it.
Right, because he has to be at this point.
Yes.
And I know you were saying that you think that he's gonna get killed off.
I don't think
point,
so. I think with Black Bolt, sacrifices is like built into his character.
Right.
He is like the sacrificial king. Yeah. I think it's too soon. This dude just came back.
Plus, they're doing a lot of big stuff with the Inhumans. Like every so often, Marvel will do
it's always tough.
Inhuman stuff. I really like that. I think Fraser Irving did that miniseries a few years ago.
I liked it too. Yeah, listen, I've liked a lot of it. I don't think it's stuff that warrants a long-term story.
Right.
I love seeing him. Like, I love his part in Illuminati. I think that's one of the greatest, great amount of energy you can add to a character.
Right.
I like the tying the Eternals to this and like getting back into like the history of the Inhumans and what they mean. And I think they're gonna expand on the Kree thing with them, and like I like the whole thing with like what they're doing with the legacy of them.
You also have an interesting plot point of Namor lying about Atlantis being destroyed.
Yeah,
and how that's probably going to come back and haunt them.
Well, the Namor Black Panther stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, they hate each other. I like that. I didn't think I would enjoy that as much as I do.
Yeah. It was like the destroying of Wakanda was a good way of like because it's Hickman handling it. I think if there's anyone else, they would have destroyed it, like destroyed the storyline, made it very boring and made it very cut and dry. But the whole like the thing that happened to Avengers where they were where he was like basically weighing the options, should I go to war or not go to war, and it's like rationale won at the end, but then the last page is like, screw that, we're going to war and people are already in your house right now.
Yeah. It's all because of Black Panther's sister?
Well, him too. No, he planned along with it. He used her to appease to the government to actually go to war with her with Namor.
I'm really enjoying it, and this is like halfway through the miniseries, so you're gonna get like some really. I feel like you're gonna get really way more interesting stuff happening at the end, and a few surprises.
Well, we like even going into this, we really knew nothing about where we're going with this storyline. I think we're still there because, like you said, we're at the halfway point, but there's still so much to go with, and every issue is big, and also because Hickman is writing New Avengers and Avengers, you're really getting a massive story per month. In terms of their story, like that, you can look at all three of those as just chapters, and that's the beauty of this book. Also, another thing I really love about the chapter breakdown. Yeah, how there is legitimate chapters for this whole thing. This thing's gonna be collected very, very nicely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The tie-ins are awesome too because they're legitimate tie-ins. It's not, and like we both did the same thing where New Avengers came out this week also, and
I read
technically you should have read it before Infinity number 3.
I think it was late. I think it was supposed to be last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I read Infinity number 3 and was like, whoa, I love Black Bolt stuff.
Yeah.
And then you read New Avengers, which is pretty much all Black Bolt. And then you're like, oh, so he's doing a thing with Maximus, which I just read.
And the New Avengers stuff was fantastic. Like the stuff with Stephen Strange. Are you doing it to me now too? I got the I'm saying Stephen Strange.
The Steve Strange.
Yeah.
The Black Maw talking to him all creepy.
Yeah, I really I like that. I like the moment of humanity like this. Like I thought we were never going to talk about our personal lives here, and it's like, and like Reed Richards is like, oh, what are we doing? Like we're not inhuman anymore. We have to like, how you doing? How's your family? They're okay.
Yeah.
Is anyone hurt?
Everybody's dead. Namor was like, everybody's dead. Atlantis is destroyed. Moving on. Let's get out of here.
So awesome.
I also,
but I never thought about the Warlock thing. I really, that'd be awesome if they do bring it back, especially because I think they needed to reestablish the power of each of the Infinity Gems.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the one gem that survived is the Soul Gem.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if that was related to
Warlock. Because he had the Soul Gem forever.
Yeah.
It was on his forehead.
Yeah.
I think that's where what? No. What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
The one gem that wasn't cracked was the Soul Gem or was it the Time Gem?
They haven't said which gem it is.
Okay.
They've alluded to the fact that there's one gem.
Because the Time Gem blipped out.
Then it's a time gem. The time
Right.
gem would make sense because it would lead into all this other time crap that's happening.
Right. Because I also feel like I don't know why this is my train of thought, but I feel like the rationale of Age of Ultron happened post Infinity. With New York already being in ruins.
I don't think so. I don't. Well, really? Yeah.
It kind of makes more sense that way.
Maybe. No, I don't know about that because remember that battle they had with them with Ultron at the very end of the storyline is what leads into Age of Ultron.
Okay.
That happened right when they still had the old Avengers teams.
Okay.
It was still like the Bendis structure. Like Luke Cage was there and everything.
Put timing on that book.
Well, it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It like I that was just they could have very well done that time thing at the end anywhere else in any of the books. But like, there's so much time travel going on, which we'll talk about a little bit more in next week when we talk about Battle of the Atom.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with the Marvel stuff because not only do you have your Hickman Avengers stuff, you have as far as like regular canon goes, you also have Uncanny Avengers, which is doing its own completely separate thing with like Apocalypse,
which is also dealing with time travel,
Onslaught, and dealing with time travel. I think this is going to have something to do with time travel, also Infinity.
Yeah. Well, because also the title of it, Infinity, goes beyond Infinity Gauntlet or anything. It also goes with the idea of infinite worlds.
I think you're going to get the return of the Infinity Gauntlet.
I kind of hope they don't.
No,
I hope they can establish Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet.
I don't think he's going to have it though. I think it's going to be somebody else. Black Bolt,
maybe.
The guy who can't, say anything is going to use it. It's a really interesting story, and this is the best part about being a fan is that you're kind of chomping at the bit to see where it goes, and you want more, and you want to see because this is one of those things where I feel like I'm going to read again, just to kind of see the little stuff. Because the way Hickman writes is he'll throw little stuff in there, here and there, and this is arguably the most complicated story that he's written, and I've loved his Fantastic Four. I think his Fantastic Four is one of the best runs of any comic book of all time.
Secret Warriors was mine with him.
Secret Warriors was awesome. Because it was it was very grounded story.
Yeah. I just love this conspiracy stuff with that. And it was opening my eyes to it. Because there weren't many guys who were writing like Hickman.
Right.
I mean, he definitely comes from the school of not writing comics like they're comics.
Right. I'll put this out to you too. Do you think anything that happened in S.H.I.E.L.D. will have anything to do with Infinity? Because it would be an interesting dynamic also, because that has to do, oddly enough, with time travel also.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that he's been told to chill with that for a while.
Don't you find it interesting that the majority of what's going on in Marvel right now is revolved around time travel?
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm so curious what this is meaning. And it gets me nervous because it feels like a reboot's coming.
Okay.
Because every single major book has time travel in the heart of it, and also the Age of Ultron thing was showing that time is broken. We've talked about time being broken. They're driving home, in regardless of any book, defying every bit of like what he was talking about before, like how certain things don't cross pollinate. Everything is working with time stuff. Superior Spider-Man is fighting 2009.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
That's a major story. X-Men's dealing with time travel. There's something else too.
Uncanny Avengers, the Avengers canon.
Yes, all this stuff.
I think I don't want to say. I haven't read the Mark Waid Hulk stuff.
It's been all time travel.
I think Iron Man 2, right? A little bit.
Well, it's been dealing with the past for the most part.
All time related stuff.
Yeah, there's a big focus on that, and I'm very curious to see why that is exactly, because you can't do all this stuff and not have like time completely falling
and
over.
weird repercussions too, and like they always like to go to that Marvel, like your three futures that Marvel have as the go-to are the Cable future, Days Future Past, and well, you also have the Bishop future, and Apocalypse, the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, and now we have the promised future of the Red Skull Onslaught thing.
Right, which is kind of interesting, and I would like, how like when DC did like hints at Kingdom Come,
and Captain America too, kind of in a weird way, time moving differently when he was in Dimension Z.
Yeah, really kind of interesting stuff. And you also have I'm sorry, what I would like to see is like, and I've mentioned this on the show before, probably not for a while, how DC pre-relaunch would hint at Kingdom Come stuff.
Yes.
And like Magog showed up, and like it was kind of cool the way that I found all those issues, by the way, like when JSA was awesome.
Awesome.
I would like to see a little bit on Earth X, because I feel like that's one of the best forgotten storylines.
It's never gonna happen. I'd love for it to happen because you could really do some cool stuff with those older characters. But I gotta go back and read that. Every few years I go back and read Earth X.
Yeah, it's because it's such a well put together, ridiculous story. Where it could still be doable. Like I wouldn't mind it if, like you had, let's say, like that future Hulk show up or whatever,
kind of did in the new Hulk.
Oh yeah. Okay, so there you go.
It's the book is not great, the Wade Hulk.
Okay,
but it's getting there. Plus they had like some of the best art I've ever seen in the book.
Scalera did it, right?
I think so. For the Black Knight stuff.
Daredevil off the hook this week.
Yeah, it was really good.
I honestly, like, anybody who's listening, like, pick up the new run of Daredevil. I think they're all still available, and like the first few issues was collected already.
Yes. There's a good chunk of it. I think the first at least first 12 are collected.
Okay. Anybody will love that issue. That last issue with the Silver Surfer was phenomenal.
Fantastic. There's what else came out this week?
Eisner winning standalones.
That book is the king of the standalone issues.
Amazing. Thor.
Thor was good.
I really liked it. I feel like
right. I think that was the best I've read of Malkaith or whatever his name is.
I think it's a good. They like Jason Aaron is the good setup for the movie because this ties into the movie.
Absolutely.
What else? Did you read Zero?
Not yet.
Awesome.
I caught up. I got all my my missing BPRDD issues, so I caught up on that.
Oh man, I know one came out yesterday. I forgot to pick it up.
Yeah, you know what? Like you should. I know you're way behind on BPRD. Yeah. They just like now it's taking over the new numbering where it's like 106 instead of like being the miniseries breakdowns. Their art team it's like a whole new group of people.
Right.
There's a guy that they have for 2 issues. That is I hate to say it like this, but he's who's the dude who from Heavy Metal that we really liked? They did all the
Simone Bianchi.
No, he did Den, and he did all the horror stuff for Marvel. Did Swamp Thing stuff. He does real muscly guys.
Bisley?
No. Horror stuff. Come on, man. He did like the Edgar Allan Poe stuff for Marvel.
Bernie Wrightson?
No. Recently. He's still alive. Still working.
Give me more.
He's done Punisher stuff, Punisher Max stuff. Did a lot of Punisher Max stuff.
Goran Parlov?
No. Nah, he's like a classic guy. He did Heavy Metal. The Heavy Metal magazine. He did Punisher the End. He did the prison story.
Oh, Richard Corbin. Yeah.
I did such a roundabout way. I wish I had the name before I made the reference.
Yeah.
He's almost a better Richard Corbin.
Really?
He's more of a polished. Like he's still like facial feature, uniqueness, page layout, everything that he kind of Corbin does. But this guy kind of does it more polished.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, because they're trying to get away from just having Mignola style artists coming on.
Yeah.
So now it's just really.
I really like Arcudi, man.
He's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think is he still on the book now? Yeah, he's still on the book.
Okay.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I'm gonna check that. What else did you read this week that you like besides the X-Men stuff that we're gonna talk about next week?
X-Men was good. There was something else that I read that was nice. Avengers book, that book. What'd you read?
I read Superior, which I really liked. The Avengers
I
stuff.
did like this. I really like Superior Spider-Man stuff.
Weird time travel thing again. I feel like also like Hunger is a little late, and I think Ultimate Spidey's a little late.
They're all gonna be late.
Yeah.
Hunger's definitely gonna be late. Ultimate Spidey, they're shuffling around because of
Right.
the Cataclysm storyline they're doing.
Mhm.
Battle of the Atom's gonna be delayed also.
That's fine.
You're gonna screw that up somehow.
I hope not. I really want to. I know it's something that we're leaving for next week, but I really want to talk about it because it's one of. I will say this. It's a crossover. It's an X-Men crossover that I really look forward to every week.
Well, that's a book.
Mhm.
All the new relaunch has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the dynamic is so different that you really don't know where it's going, so you're really surprised by it, and you really don't know where this time travel stuff is going.
Right, and plus Bendis is the perfect writer to write it because I think his quirky dialogue works better with the X-Men because they're a family and they all hate each other and all that stuff than with the Avengers.
Are you
know?
reading the X-Men the X-Men book also, the Brian Wood book?
Yes.
You read it in conjunction with like all this stuff that
Right.
tie in.
Yeah.
His issue was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But
Hard not to talk about it because it's so good.
it is really good. I really like the looks of the future X-Men. I always like future X-Men storylines.
Well,
They're always good.
You're always sold on the Zorn also.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up for today. We were on at a weird hour, but we'll be on at a regular hour later tonight. In case you missed this, just come on at the weird hour. We will see you next week. We'll be talking about War of the Atom, right?
Battle of the Atom.
Battle of the Atom. The X-Men crossover Battle of the Atom. We were talking about more comics, and we will probably talk about more Sons of Anarchy and Breaking Bad next week as
Definitely
well.
Breaking Bad.
I'm your host, Rich Stambolian.
I'm Richard Corbin.
Good night.